Hey, good evening. This is Nicolina Nix, and you're here for another episode of Women, Wit, and Wine. Tonight's episode, we have a talented comedian, a local comedian here, who I've had the honor of sharing the stage with, David Montoya.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Tonight, the wine we're drinking, and of course I do, like I said, I try to get something that's fitting. It's called Dark Horse. You know, in reading your bio, it was definitely something that you have a morbid sense of humor.
Yeah.
So Dark Horse to me means, it's a little bit, I mean, you made a comment about it being an underdog, but for me, it's like the Dark Horse is really the one that you never expect something from.
Well, it's always going to remind me of Katy Perry being in Egypt in her song there in the video.
Yeah.
With Juicy J.
So, I mean, this is actually really good. It's got some, it's oaky. It's got a very oaky flavor.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not overpowering.
I am not like a big sweet wine drinker. My motto is, and which is also for Women, Wit, and Wine, is I like my humor. I like my wine like I like my humor, dark and dry. So, because I have a dry sense of humor myself, and so I really tend to go towards the red wines unless somebody says I prefer white. And I'm going to because to me, white wine is much more sweet. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of dry white wines. But to me, I associate white wine, pink wines, with being sweet. There are sweet red wines.
So I got to learn my wine because women actually enjoy wine. And I want to have a couple of bottles on deck in case I have a female friend over or something. So any pointers? I need them.
It really is about determining what it is that you like, because there's actually Slate Street Cafe down off of Central in that area.
Okay.
It's like on 6th and Central, Slate Cafe or something like that. Every month they have a wine tasting. It's $20. You go in and they pair you a certain type of wine. Like one month could be this kind of wine, and they'll give you three. I think it's 3 to 6 wines, and you get to taste them, and you get to learn about wine.
They give you the cheese, crackers, and grapes and everything?
Yep.
All right. That's fancy. I've never been to one of those.
So, that's something I'd like to do. I've even considered taking sommelier classes, to learn, because I'm a huge wino. And I like wines, but I've never really learned how to appreciate them.
Now there's a lot of steps to it too. Like they have this swivel glass I saw that just keeps your wine flowing to keep it mixed at all times.
Right.
And I saw that. I think it was kind of cool.
That's an aerator type of aerator. So the key is when you buy a red wine. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There are red wines that need to be cold. Those are sweet wines or Zins, like a red Zin. Those are usually drunk cold. However, with most wines like a Cabernet or a Merlot or a Pinot Noir or a Syrah, those are not cold wines. Those are room temperature wines. So the key to those is you want to open them up about an hour before you're going to drink them.
See, I don't have patience for that.
Because it allows them to dry.
As soon as that cork comes off, we're getting drunk. That's what's going on.
Okay. So then the key is if you're going to do that, would be to buy an aerator.
All right.
You can buy their glasses that causes it to swirl. That helps it breathe. Or you can buy something like this. It's a rabbit and sticks in there. And
was that just pump?
It's an aerator. So So when you pour it, it pours into the glass and it aerates the wine. So if you don't have that kind of patience, I would recommend you getting an aerator.
That was an interesting looking device then.
It really is.
I would have never figured that. I've been like, oh, okay, maybe that's supposed to remove earwax or something.
Yeah, so when you pour it, it causes it swirls through here and there's air here, so it helps aerate it. So if you don't have time, then to let it breathe, then this is the shortcut of wine. But I like dark wines, and I really do. So this has some spice, so you have to kind of learn it. Mm-hmm. There's a movie called French Kiss, and it had Meg Ryan in it and Kevin Kline, and it's a really old movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or I shouldn't say it's old. It's like an late '80s, early '90s movie, and he's a jewel thief, and she's going to ask her fiance to marry her or save her relationship because he's now in France, and so they end up meeting up. But what it is he's opening a winery, and so he takes her and he pulls out this box, and it has all these little spices in it.
Hmm.
And, and different types of flavors that go into wine. And so he says, this is how you learn about the wine. He says, now smell this and then drink the wine and then tell me what flavors you get out of it.
Are you sure he wasn't using chloroform or anything?
No,
Here, smell this and take a drink.
Yeah. Rohypnol in it. Right? So, comedy, tell me, okay, when's the first time you got on stage?
That was about 3 years ago. I've been wanting to do it ever since I was a kid. I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy, but I finally got the balls to get up on stage and do it in front of people about 3 years ago. I was over at the Broken Bottle brew house, but they're been out of business.
I know. I went there for a while.
Yeah, it was my first time was over there, and I absolutely murdered it, which was awesome. Then the second time I did it, I bombed so bad it brought me back to reality.
How do you think you bombed? Is it because people didn't respond to you, or was it the audience? Was it your subject matter? Combination?
I think basically is because when I murdered it and got applause breaks and stuff like that, I was expecting that all the time. And then when I was doing my bits, different bits that I was trying out, everybody just staring at me. Which now I kind of appreciate the quiet because you know people are paying attention. So at first when everybody's quiet, you panic when you first get in it because like, oh man, you're not making nobody laugh. Like, sucks. Yeah. But then now you get to appreciate like, oh, everybody's paying attention. So now I can dig a little deeper and come up with a good punchline right here and hit them out of nowhere with it.
Right. Well, that's really good. That's actually very good that you can do that. I've seen you quite often. And I think I remember the first time that I met you. It was very funny because I was up on stage and you came up and politely to me said, if you don't mind, I'm going to call you out on stage. And I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. And it's like, sure, go ahead. You're not going to offend me.
Yeah, like I like to riff other comedians and stuff. So like if they have a subject matter or something, and something just like makes my brain click real quick, I'll use it while it's still fresh in the audience's memory.
See, I'm like that. Sometimes when we do like open mic, I always hate to go first because even though I have a set in mind, sometimes about 5 in is ideal for me because I've at least heard something, and they might say something that has triggered something that I forgot about. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I'm stealing their material because I can just say, oh, I had an incident like that happened to me, and I can kind of relate, and I can kind of write it, and whether I use it that night or later on, sometimes listening to other comedians triggers a memory, a moment in your life. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I really kind of had a one time like that too. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's amazing how comedy works, and like it's basically we're walking through a forest, and comedy is just right there for the picking. So we just got to learn how to take subjects and make them funny and different aspects, and build a big old comedy puzzle, put the pieces together.
Now, what is your method for comedy?
What I like is misdirection. That's one of my favorite things. So I'll take a subject, and then I'll take something that's like a total 180 punchline. So, like, I did this joke about, like, screw Donald Trump, and everybody was applauding. They're like, yeah. And I was like, well, obviously you guys didn't vote for him. I did. I wanted him to deport my baby's mother. The bitch is still here. So, like, just that 180 catch people off guard kind of thing.
That's an interesting concept. But, but I think that is a little bit about kind of what comedy is. Do you feel that every joke that you have has a punchline?
I feel like it, but I do a lot of stories that actually happen to me. I like doing that kind of comedy too. just because somewhat it's relatable to everybody. Everybody has similar situations, and then that's what people laugh because they had something similar happen to them. Right. And then I bring it up, and they're just laughing like, "Oh my god, yeah,
it's identifying with people."
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's how my comedy is. It's really, you know, I mean, I've had people go, "You talk about sex a lot," well, because you know, a lot of my life was about sex.
Well, everybody has sex.
You know, everybody has sex. You know, everybody's had horrible dating experiences. Mm-hmm. Everybody has, you know, had bad sex. Mm-hmm. You know, so, and everybody has at one point in their life done the serial monogamy dating, mm-hmm. and we're miserable at it.
Mm-hmm.
I can laugh about that. I can laugh about.
Yeah, see, I think because us humans, we're still animals, and the instinct, like you see animals, they don't date, they just fuck, and then they go on their merry way. And I think that's basically our human instincts too. Like we're not supposed to be monogamous.
I think that we're animals. I do think that morality teaches us monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that. I had Eddie Tafoya on here not too long ago, and he talks about that puritanical thought process.
Mm.
But I'm a firm believer. We're animals. I mean, if you're not looking, you probably are cheating on me.
The funny thing is too.
I'm just kidding.
The funny thing is too is us as humans, like we have to be in this society. We have to work a job, go to school, work a job. Well, mm-hmm. Basically, all we have to do is just survive.
Right.
Like we can go live off the land, go fishing, hunting. Mm-hmm. We can build our own shelters. Like right now, we could build our own generators for power if we wanted to.
Right.
But we all have to be like, oh, I got to go get a job I hate and work at it forever until I die, and be a part of this society thing.
I agree. It's the norms of society. Mm-hmm. It's like this is what you're supposed to want: the house, the 2.5 kids, the
Bentley, and
the job, Mercedes. And blah 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 blah. Yeah. And I mean, and you can have that. However, you don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's learning how to survive on what do you really need. It's not really always about what you want. Mm-hmm. What do you need right now?
Mm-hmm. Basically, food, alcohol, preferably, and somewhere to sleep at night.
Right? Somewhere to sleep that's not rainy in the open. So but yeah. So I guess I could see that, and but. Tying all that into comedy. Mm-hmm. I think that as comedians, a lot of us tend to, I display my pain for everybody. Because it really is. I'm laughing at I've learned to laugh at myself. I've been in horrible, miserable situations. And the best thing you can do is get up there and, share it with somebody. And somebody's going to identify with it.
Well, the best comedy comes from the darkest places.
Yes.
And that's true.
Do you think that a majority of comedians have that dark place?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's why we're comedians?
Oh, yeah. That's why comedians don't have a big lifespan either. Like, a lot of them are overdosing and...
That's true. I mean, I try to describe to people, it's kind of like, do you remember watching, what's that, Mad TV?
Yeah.
The UBS guy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we're gonna go over here, and and then I was doing this, and I tried to explain that to a boyfriend once, and I said, "That's what my mind is like.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't stop.
Yep,
doesn't shut up.
I'm the same way. It's always constantly going. I can't focus at work. Sometimes I can't sleep. My mind's racing so damn much. But yeah, I mean it's good. It gives me something to talk about on stage."
It is good. It can be good. I think that it could be hard sometimes. I mean, I myself, I suffer from clinical depression and PTSD, and I'm obsessive compulsive. So when something goes wrong, it's a bad porn movie in my head that keeps going over and over and over and over and over again. And my daughter will laugh at me because I'll be driving down the street because, something bad has happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start having a conversation in my head. Because I'm trying to work it out to where I can just move past it. Mm-hmm. And so, I'll be sitting there and I'll be driving and I'll be like...
Trying to find every angle, every aspect.
And my daughter's like, because my hands are moving during this entire time, she goes, "You're talking to yourself, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, shut up." So yeah, I do. I'm absolutely one of those people. It's like, okay, I just had a fight with the person at the bank, and it just really pissed me off, and now I need to resolve it because I realized I was an asshole.
But you can't go back there and just go apologize.
You really can't. So I have to, the obsessive compulsive in me has to resolve that in my head.
Yeah. Well, you know what? She looked at me wrong.
It was her bad hair.
She didn't tell me good morning.
Right. So yeah, I tend to do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you do that.
Oh, I do all kinds of weird things. I don't go see doctors or anything, so because I already know if they're going to tell me I'm fucked up. So.
But are you okay? So the way to look at it is I don't really see it as being fucked up. I just think it is that our brain works on a different level. Mm. Than most people's. Like, I went through, I've been single for 6 years now. And I went through a very bad breakup, and it was very emotional. It was very traumatizing for me. And I couldn't get through it because I had no closure. And so my mind just constantly went and went and went. And I kind of like semi-lost friends because they just couldn't understand what I was going through. And it's like, because they've never been there. And if you've never been in that dark place, it's hard to explain. I tried to explain it to my friend. I said, because when I have a hard day, I do say something. I'll say something. But and I just tried to tell her. I explained to her. I said, it's this thing that sits on your chest. Mm-hmm. Do you know Mary Shelley wrote Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein? Wrote a book called Gothic. Mm-hmm. Well, in there's a painting. Somebody did a painting, and it's a woman laying over the bed, and there's this little imp that's sitting on her chest. Okay. I'm sure you've seen the painting.
I don't think I have.
You probably have, just not realizing it. However, that's depression for people. That's suicide ideation for clinically depressed people. It's like, it's this thing that's waiting on your chest, waiting you to give in and go, okay, I'm done. And you're like, okay, today's good. Today's good. Okay, how about we just do this tomorrow? And then if you get there tomorrow, then you just can start all over that fight. So I tried to explain that to her, and I said, and I know that it's really hard to understand for people. And that's where my comedy comes from. It definitely talks about, I have a joke about taking medication because after my breakup, I was taking so many different pills, and somebody said, what are these pills for? And I said, well, this one says, keeps me from killing me. This one keeps me from killing you, and this one keeps me from doing it over and over and over and over again in my head.
And this one's a Tic Tac.
Right, and this one's just a vitamin. Mint? Oh, totally, now I have to steal that.
Take it.
I totally now need to incorporate that into my joke. And this one's a Tic Tac. Mint?
Oh, yeah.
Solange. So, you travel a lot.
Yes. I'm trying to travel a lot more. Getting booked in different places is what I'm really working on. I love traveling. It's always cool to see a new place and be somewhere, and the sights, the sounds, the tastes. Like, I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that aspect. It gets tiring from being on the road for 12, 13-hour drives and stuff to get places. Yeah. Like, I'm going to have to drive to 13 hours to Lufkin in 2 weeks. But,
You're driving? They're not going to fly you out there?
No, even if I flew, I would go to Dallas and I still have to drive like 4 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, screw it. I'm going to drive through Dallas, go check it out, and probably drive more straight through.
I don't really hear a lot about the Dallas comedy scene. Do you? Have you checked it out?
I was scoping it out and checking out different comedy clubs, but since I still do got a day job, I was trying to get some time off, and then somebody else took the time off before I got to it. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't going to be able to put in enough days to get some spots in Dallas, so that kind of sucks. But. So do
you have a lot of time off with the job that you have? Is it
they work with me. I get basically 2 weeks vacation, just like everybody else does. But when I do travel and tell them I'm going places, like they're actually gonna let me leave work on Friday, like at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on a short day, and they're going to let me take off heavy for the full day and go out there.
So basically, it's Red Bull and sunflower seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Are you a sunflower seed eater when you're driving?
Oh, yeah. I do that at work. My coworkers are always pissed off because sometimes I miss the trash can. There's sunflower seeds piles everywhere by my desk.
Well, for me, it's like when I do road trips, it's sunflower seeds because you have to focus on it. It's something that you have to focus on. It keeps you awake.
And I smoke like a chimney when I'm on long trips.
Oh, yeah. I don't smoke.
It's probably good for you not to be smoking, but it's the only reason why. Like, it's funny because, like, my grandma, she's always on my ass about living clean, not drinking, not smoking. But she's 89, I believe. And she's always telling me about how much it sucks being old, or this is happening, she got this problem, that problem, this problem, that problem. And then she's all like, well, you need to quit smoking, you need to quit drinking because you're not going to live that long. And I'm like, Grandma, like, you're not making it appealing to get to your age.
I'm listening to you.
I think Mother Nature put a stamp on us, an expiration date when we should go. Mainly for men, I think once impotence kicks in, I think that's your time to go. Like, there's no purpose to be here.
And for women, are you saying menopause?
Could be. I don't know how that works.
I just figure, okay, so menopause is, of course, it's when your body starts to shut down and you can't have children anymore. I just figure, I'm working on one. It's like, the reality of it is that I am over 50, I like to drink, and I'm Caucasian, which I'm pretty much guaranteed because studies show spontaneous combustion happens in women who tend to be over a certain age, Caucasian, and drink a lot. So I'm just willing and waiting to go out with a bang.
You know what? You need to strap a GoPro on yourself because you never know when it's going to happen. And like me, I've never seen anybody spontaneous combust anywhere. Like that's kind of something I want to see.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm going to have to YouTube it one time.
Yeah, you should have to totally YouTube it, But it's just like, I just figure, eventually I'm just going to go by spontaneous combustion.
Interesting.
Not that it happens very often, but in the cases that they come across, it's usually women over a certain age, and and I think it's just a thermal thing that your body doesn't know when to cool down, and you spontaneously combust. I'm going to go out with a bang. That's my plan. Since the oceanographer job didn't work out, and the fact that I was going to get eaten by jaws, whether it was early in life or later in life, because, early in life because I was just stupid, and later in life because I'm too slow. Now I gotta take a different route, spontaneous combustion.
You know what? I ride a motorcycle, and I figured I won't die on my motorcycle because that'd be too cool. I'm going to do something stupid like choke on a peanut or something else.
Well, on your motorcycle. He didn't die from a wreck. He choked on a peanut.
Could have fucking swallowed a fly in my mouth.
He was probably smiling while he was driving.
He was choking, asphyxiated 20 minutes before impact. He was just a corpse ride.
This guy was really cool. Right? So, the traveling, when did you start traveling?
Probably a couple of years ago. I try to travel as much as possible just so that way I can establish myself.
Yeah.
El Paso was one of the easiest travel spots to go to and work out comedy out there. They got a lot of venues, and then of course they got the El Paso comedy strip and or the comic strip. And then it's cool.
Is there comic clubs down there? The real legitimate one?
It's a legit comedy club, and you'll watch most of the big name comedians go through there. So you get to go over there and learn about comedy as well, and see how they perform and how joke structure is. Because I like to do a lot of learning about it and research, so that way I can kind of structure my jokes and do things that most open micers don't do. So it's.
I mean, how do you feel about the open mic scene?
The open mic scene's cool, but I'm going to start getting out of it because basically I need more time to work on more jokes, and 5 minutes ain't going to cut it for me. Just because I can do the 30s, I can do the 40s, but it's hard to condense everything in 5 minutes.
Have you thought about doing open mics that are combined with music and poetry and comedy.
I was thinking
I
about
think you get maybe a little bit. You get more time
there's,
there.
There's a few of them.
Like Red Door. I do Red Door.
Mm.
I like Red Door because it is. I think I also get a better response for my jokes.
Mm.
Because when I'm telling it to a room full of comedians,
yeah,
that you don't really know if it's really that funny.
Just staring at you.
If they're just being polite,
and they're pretty much going over their own set.
I know, and that's really but you're kind of looking for a little bit of feedback, and it's hard when you're in a room full of people and you don't get a lot of feedback.
Mm. And what I love about comedy clubs is it's. The open mics, it's hard to make people laugh because nobody's there for comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them don't know what's going on, so some of them just don't really care about it. Some of them will actually listen to you. And it's always a 50-50 shot. But when you go to a comedy club and you perform in a comedy club, everybody's there to laugh. So it's really easy to win over the room right away just because everybody wants to have a good time. You can feel the vibes off the crowds, and they're vibing off of you. And if everybody's having a good time, you feel it real quick, and you can just hone in on the jokes and make stuff up in your head as you go, and it's a good time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I went out to LA. You were just in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to the comedy stores? Did you go to the comedy store?
I went to the comedy store. I was trying to get in on that open mic. I didn't really do too much comedy because I was taking my daughters to Disneyland and showing them up California.
So it was really kind of more like a vacation than it was really kind of a career thing.
Yeah, but I did. I was able to sneak away. Go to the comedy store. I actually performed at the Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego. Mm-hmm. That one was pretty cool. That was a good experience. And then I went to the comedy store, but I didn't get in because their open mic was on a Monday, and they got a lottery system.
Oh, yeah.
And they only have 15 spots, and I was number 118 when I signed up. And I think there was still 20 or 30 comedians after me trying to get a spot, too. So, I mean, if I would have got on that show, I was going to go get a lottery ticket right away.
Yeah.
I was going to be real lucky. So, but no, it was a good time. Everybody's really helpful out there. Quick to meet you if you're a comedian, and they'll show you the places where you need to go and what open mics and when, where, and they'll hook you up with all the internet or the websites, the closed groups on Facebooks, and so that way you have all your knowledge and where to go in LA.
Right. I mean, I make friends with people. I'll see somebody. Oh, you're a comedian. I'm going to friend you because you never know. Because you don't know. I mean, I went to LA and performed at a show. It wasn't like a huge show; it was just like a little bar kind of thing. And he does a show every Monday. But it was kind of cool. I did, I was on a flight, and I thought, okay, I got time on my hands. I'm going to go. I'll drive. I just had bought a car in March, and so it's like I got a car that'll make it, and it'll be fine. So I ended up taking my daughter and her friend, and of course they couldn't go with me because her friend was under 21, which kind of sucks. It's kind of like
you have to sit in the car.
Well, no, they went into their thing, and I went to my and did my thing, and I had a good time. I would like to do it again. I'd like to think I would like to. Maybe I'll go down to El Paso because that's 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours, yeah.
Depending on how fast you drive.
They pretty much got something going on every day of the week, whether it's open mic or sometimes they've got showcases and stuff going on.
Yeah. So. And then, I can go to Denver. Mm-hmm. Have you been to Denver?
I have not done any comedy in Denver, unfortunately. But at the main comedy clubs, you definitely have to sign weeks, months out before you go over there. So.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you can still find some mics and stuff to get into at coffee shops and stuff. But
yeah.
I try to get into the comedy clubs.
Right.
Because usually the bookers are there and they'll watch you and they'll be like, oh, you know what?
Did you meet Dave Trimble when he was here?
I did not.
Okay. Because I met him. He came up to Mary Bird's and it was interesting to hear him talking. And he was there. He was actually, I think he was there the night that, I don't know if you were there that night or not, but he was down at, what is that, Back Alley? Mm-hmm. But he was gone by the time I went up, which was okay. But, so, I mean, how do you promote yourself?
Facebook, basically.
You sent me some links.
Mm-hmm. I'm learning how to start videotaping my sets. and then send them out to bookers, and they'll take a look at it, and then let me know usually if they want me to come by or not.
What are you using to videotape your sets?
Just my phone and a little stand.
I'm looking at a camera. I'm looking at a camera with a remote right now.
I actually got a little Bluetooth remote for this thing. Like you can put it in your pocket, you can hit record.
Oh, yeah, I have one.
Yeah, and then I got the little stand. It just hooks up like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this phone is a pretty good phone. It takes good videos. I actually put a lot of videos from YouTube, like my parody videos or any stupid video that I make is usually on this phone. So I can edit it and everything on this phone. So,
how do you edit your shows? What do you use to do that?
Whatever program this is, Samsung editor. From,
I have an iPhone.
I do got Adobe too. I'm learning how to use that just because of the stupid videos that I make, and I'm gonna start producing more. And I'll probably use that because it's a real professional program.
What kind of videos?
I make parody videos. I make just stupid sketches, basically comedy sketches and stuff.
Have you worked with Danger and them
at all? Not.
And Keith doing their comedy sketches?
I have not worked on their sketches. I've worked with Keith on some shows, but I haven't done any sketches with him yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to write some more sketches. I'm probably going to use Keith. Danger I probably use as well if he wants to work. Because he has a lot of good equipment that I don't have.
Such as?
Like badass cameras and sound equipment. At least it looks like he does.
There's plenty. Brian Vanderhoof has.
Yeah,
does really well. I work with them a lot. Mm-hmm. I work with Brian and his wife a lot, doing stuff.
Yeah, we made some stupid videos at Troy's house one time. We were gonna make some more, but I don't know what happened to it. It just kind of fell off, I guess.
I think life got in the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that works.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. I've worked with them. I worked with Brian and his wife. We did a trailer last year, February.
Mm-hmm.
This last February, and we're still working on the script. His wife and I, for a television series. So it's pretty
interesting.
Hopefully, it's going to come out. We go through. Life gets in the way, and depression gets in the way, and I lost my job gets in the way, or
Yeah.
I'm going through this gets in the way, and it's like, sometimes you just got to figure out how to make the time. You got to make the time.
Well, there's a saying that I like to use anytime, like I get down and don't want to do nothing, but like I'm working on a goal here because I want to do stand-up comedy. Like I'm not trying to be like famous or anything like that, but if I can pay my bills, like then I made it. Like I'm good. That's all.
You know what? If I could make if I could do it in stand-up comedy, what it makes for me to work a 40-hour work week job, and pay my bills and be comfortable. Yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying like, I have to buy a rich car or anything like this, but comfortable in saying my bills are paid, I'm good, and I have the money to travel, I'm good.
And so what the saying is it's important to you. You'll find a way to make it happen. But if it's not that important,
you make excuses. So, absolutely. I mean,
that's the kind of mentality I try to keep.
I completely agree with that. Sometimes, I'm very much into the laws of attraction, and I just got certified as a life coach. But a lot of people don't think what we don't think about is we tend to make reasons why we can't instead of looking at why we should or why we can, and one of the big things is you have to think about it as in terms of as if it's already happened. There is a guy who wrote a book called How to Get the Guy. And his name's Matthew Hussey. And he said, when I was like in middle school, he says, I just went around telling people I'm a DJ. I'm a DJ. He says, I didn't say I wanted to be a DJ. I just said I'm a DJ. And then eventually people were booking me for their shows because I kept saying, this is what I am. I am. And those are very powerful words that our subconscious strives to want, to need. I am a loser, then yes, you're a loser. I'm not, absolutely. that's exactly what your subconscious hears. So you have to start learning how to talk to yourself in neuro-linguistic programming. We teach that. They teach you that it's about how you say things. Like when it's like an affirmation. You know what an affirmation is?
Sure.
You don't know what it is. Okay, an affirmation is it's kind of like, okay, remember when you got punished in school and you had to write on the board 25 times? Mm-hmm. I will not. That's kind of like an affirmation.
Oh, okay.
However, you have to learn how to reword it. I am.
That makes sense. Like, I try to think on the positive side now. That's what I've been doing the last few years, because like a lot of shit's gone wrong and sour and south for me, and now I'm just trying to look at the bright side and just keep going, you know.
But but some of the things that kind of went shit and south may not have been just a bad situation. It may have been the universe opening up for something better for you to come for you.
Gave me jokes. Something to joke about.
It gave you material. It gave you time. Because, okay, so I don't know whether it was a relationship that you were in and it ended. Okay, so your relationship ended, but now you have free time. You have time to devote to yourself, to nurture yourself. Because a lot of the times when we're involved with relationships, children, family members, we tend to forget how to nurture ourselves. We put ourselves on the back burner.
Well, I just hooked myself up with the IV full of alcohol, and I'm nurtured enough. But yeah, it's like if you're doing what makes you happy or something that makes you feel good, that's considered nurturing yourself. And nurturing yourself could be as simple as putting lotion on your hand. Taking the moment and feeling it, how it feels to your hand, and enjoying the sensation. I've always just put it on as a chore, just so my elbows don't get ashy.
Do you use Cornhusker's lotion?
Yeah, it's still kind of ashy. I lost my lotion. It's weird. So I had to go use my daughter's. It's like this lavender or something. So I have this like weird scent on me now.
So you have a weird scent, but have you tried Cornhusker's lotion?
No.
You should try it.
I'm cheap. I just get that Equate lotion from Walmart for like 97 cents.
Okay, Cornhusker's lotion is only $2.50 for a bottle like this, and you only have to use that much. But it's for people who work a lot with their hands. And so it puts some moisture in it, and it's not like a typical lotion. It looks kind of a little bit like a petroleum jelly kind of thing, but it's not. It goes on with a lotion. It's smooth. My daughter's father, my ex-husband, was in construction. So, when you get your split hand, if you use that, it softens it up and it puts that moisture back in it.
Yeah, I don't work that rugged. I work in car parts, so I open up a lot of boxes, and that dries out my hands pretty quick.
That's good enough. So I'm just saying, just something to think about. I'm just trying to help you out here.
I'm going to go put that on my shopping list right
You should.
away.
Cornhusker's lotion. You can buy it at Walmart. It's only like $2. It's not a very big bottle, but you don't need that much.
And I'm going to get some candles, too, and maybe a pack of condoms just to screw with the cashier.
You should. And a big old economy size of not toilet paper, but tissue paper.
This is plan A, but there's lotion for plan B if it doesn't work out.
You should also get like the tire repair kit.
What are you gonna do to her, man?
Well, she's got a little bit of a leak. So there you go. I just gave some. Go up there with tissue, condoms, lotion.
Okay, that'd be awesome. I just want to see the look on the cashier.
Tire repair kit. Right?
The one with the CO2 that actually shoots the plug.
There you go.
And a bag of ice.
A bag of ice. Because it's going to hurt later. So, what is, with your job, I mean, I know we talked about it, how you want to eventually just not have to work and do your comedy. So, okay, if you're making $40,000 a year, you're good. In comedy. It's possible.
Oh, it's really possible. It's just basically getting booked where I got shows back to back to back to back, and then hit the road.
And you don't think that you need an agent?
Eventually, I'll probably have to get to that level where I think right now I need a manager because I got so much going on, and I'm trying to do my regular day job and then manage my comedy career at the same time, and then kids and.
I'll give you a recommendation.
Juggling like crazy.
Virtual assistant.
What is that, like a program?
No, it's a secretary. You hire somebody, you pay them $15 an hour. 4 hours a week, virtual assistant. And they do the work for you. They do all your administrative work. I learned that with like the life coach kind of thing. That I can't be out there promoting myself and doing all that work, and I have to have somebody who will do the administrative stuff, and that's what you need. You need somebody who will do your administrative stuff. Okay, I have this video and I want to send it out to this person, this person, this person, this person, and that would be their job. So you should look into a virtual assistant.
I definitely do need somebody like that because I try to keep social presence on all the social media sites, and then like trying to write all this and do all that, and then still submit to somebody while I'm doing my day job. It's a little overwhelming.
Well, there's also another program, Buffer. Have you heard of Buffer?
No.
You pay $10 a month for Buffer, and it will shoot out a post that you make to everything. Like it shoots it out to Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you're only doing one post, one place, and it sends the same thing out to everybody. My friend who comes and is on the show every once in a while, Toby, does that. She uses Buffer, and like I said, you can make one post and it goes out to everybody.
Yeah, copy and paste sucks.
I mean, you pay $10 a month for it, but it works out. You can make as many posts as you want, and it takes care of it for you itself. You can even pre-program it to go out at a certain time. It doesn't have to, a daily thing. So if you're doing a show, you can program it that it goes out every day at a certain time to remind people.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely have to get a little bit more computer savvy and start learning about these programs. And
Buffer is Buffer is something you can do from your phone.
I think I'll probably download that app.
Yeah. But like I said, it goes out to more than just those. But it's something to look into is to, because what you're describing to me is what you needed for time-wise is you need somebody that does the administrative stuff for you. I don't know. You just figure out what you need from a person, and then you say, okay, this is what I need. I need 5 hours a week. That's money out of your pocket, but in the long run, if it promotes you and it saves you time, okay, because let's say, for example, you do 20-minute gig, right? And you're paid $200, right, for that gig. Well, technically, you're making $400 an hour. So you spending 5 hours a week, if you think about it, you've now just spent. I got to think about this in terms.
Let's get the calculator out.
I got to think about it.
You got the laptop in front of you.
No, you're looking at $2,000 that you've just lost. You've lost that when you can just hire somebody that's administrative to do that for you. So, and now virtual assistants are the way to go. You're not hiring somebody, a private secretary. This is just somebody that works from their home. They could be in Missouri or Montana. They can be anywhere in the United States. But all you do is you tell them, this is what I need, and they're doing it for you.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to look into that.
So,
that's something I need to do just so that way I can just take a load off and then focus on writing more comedy.
Yeah, because that was a recommendation, during when I go to meetings for on the International Association of Life Coaches. That they said, the problem is we're spending so much time doing administrative work that we lose money because we're being our secretary and the coach. So $75 an hour has now become $75. I'm a $75 an hour admin assistant that I'm not making any money while I'm doing that time. So Think about that. You should definitely think about that, especially if that's the way you're looking at your career going.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do a lot more comedy. And I know that I probably tend to make a lot more excuses. I don't like to go downtown.
I'm there like every other day.
Yeah. See, I mean, I just don't like to go downtown. I'm a creature of comfort. I like something that's kind of in my neighborhood, which is a terrible thing. It really is a terrible thing if I really want to do something.
I used to be like that, like real homebody, and like I'd rather just Netflix than chill than go out. But like after going out and experiencing things and stuff, having fun, like I can't sit at my house and watch TV no more. Like I have to go out and do something.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's basically just living more. You know, that's the way I see it. Experience something new, trying something new.
Right. You got to get out there. You got to do it. If you're not doing it, it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next for you? What do you have coming up? Besides, your trip to, tell me again where it is?
Lufkin, Texas.
Lufkin, Texas.
Yeah, I didn't know that place existed until they...
Is it gonna, how long are you going to do?
I'm going to do 30 minutes out there.
Okay.
At the Pines Theater, which is pretty cool. And then once it's like 500 or 600 people. It's not a real big theater, but it's still a pretty good size.
You know, I mean, for me, it's like, okay, so when I'm promoting myself for my friends, you know, just in the Albuquerque scene, you know, and I have sent out so many invites. If I can at least get 5 to 10 people there, I'm a success for myself at that point. But that's just me promoting. Mm-hmm. Me doing it somewhere else is different.
Well, what's funny is like the promoter for this show actually reached out to me. So he's the one doing all the legwork. I just had to send him some pictures for my headshots, and then he got some on the flyers. He's the one that's putting this show together, promoting. And,
I don't think we promote enough here.
Yeah. I think if we had like a real dedicated promoter, I think the comedy scene would be a little bit better.
I do too.
I mean, like, you know, trying to do theaters and stuff, like not just bars, but like do an actual like theater out here.
I'm trying to work on something I'm trying to work on a proposal for a comedy club. I have an idea of where I'd like it to be.
Old Spearmint Rhino?
Yeah.
You know what? I think that would be a good spot.
You know, and you know, I'll talk to you about it more when we're off the air, but it's an absolutely fabulous spot, and I'll tell you what my idea is when we're off the air, because I'm in the process of trying to do a plan for it. I do know that it caught on fire in 2015. So the question is what does it look like on the inside right now? Mm-hmm. What is the work? Mm-hmm. Because I've been thinking about doing this since 2015, and I thought that's a perfect location. Why? It's not a bar. It's not residential.
No, but you get your liquor license over there. I think they have a liquor license. I've never been there.
They had a liquor license, but we'll talk about it when we're out there, because I don't want somebody to steal my idea.
Yeah, moochers.
But it's kind of it's very cool. I would like to see a comedy club here, and even at that, it doesn't have to be comedy all the time. You can do bands, you can do other things, but.
Well, no, there's all kinds of things that you can get in on a comedy club. Like they're not really stuck to comedy. Like they got the hypnotists.
Yeah,
hypnotists. Yeah, they go in there. They got a musical acts.
You can do
they
it with magicians. Yeah, you can do
all kinds of stuff.
I mean, I just think that we don't advertise enough. Mm-hmm. I think what it is we post it on Facebook and then we're done. Mm-hmm. I mean, and if you're not promoting yourself, nobody's going to show up. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm not saying anything bad. It's just like, if you're doing a show, you should promote your own show. Wouldn't you promote your show?
I promote my shows here when I put them on. We do all right.
You know?
We do all right.
If you at least can get 2/3 of the seats filled, then you're a success. Mm. But, you know, what ends up happening, I think, a lot of the times is that we have comedy shows and then it's just filled with mostly comedians. Well, because we're not promoting it properly.
Yeah. Who you put on a show basically makes or breaks your whole show. Like, you got to figure out what kind of show you want to put on, and then you got to get the right performers for it.
Right.
So that way you can cater to that kind of audience, and that's the hard part. So, like, you know, everybody has different comedy tastes. So there'll be people that love the shit that I say, and there'll be people that hate the shit that I say. I don't want to bring the people that come hate the shit that I say and try to tell them like, oh, come to my show, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
So it's real. It's a science to it.
Right. It's reading your audience. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know,
what kind of show you want to put on, and who are you trying to cater to?
You know, I record my shows, and I kind of like to listen to them, and I find out where people really laugh at stuff, and that kind of and I build a core of jokes. Mm-hmm. So the key is reading your audience. If I am in a room full of 20-something-year-olds, I don't want to talk about being 50. I would rather talk about my daughter's sex life. Mm-hmm. That, you know, because they're going to relate more to their parents. You know, oh my God, my mom did that, caught me doing that too. You need to get going?
No. I got to, you know, I'm busy.
It's okay. I don't want to have to hold you up.
No. I'm enjoying this conversation.
So you know what I'm saying though? Mm-hmm. You know, I think one kid went up at Broken Bottle one time and was talking about Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
And the room was filled with 50-something-year-olds.
Yeah, nobody's going to relate to that.
And so, like, when you don't get that kind of response, you have to say it. So it's like, you got to read your audience. That's, you know, I don't tell people how to do their comedy.
Well, I mean, reading an audience is going to be kind of hard, too, because when you're kind of stuck to your material. So like,
right, that's why I say if you build a core that you know gets a good laugh out of people,
mm-hmm.
you know that if you're not getting a good new material that you're doing, you can go back to what you...
And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to cater to everybody.
I agree.
And Joan Rivers said it best. If you can get at least 2% of the people laughing, you're going to always fill stands. So like, if you're never going to win if you try to cater to everybody, be like, okay, there's 50-year-olds or there's 2-year-olds in my audience. I got to find a way to make them. You're going to go crazy trying to figure that out. So it's just easy to just stick true to you. They like it. They don't. But at the end of the day, when you get booked for a show, mm-hmm. people will go to that show to see you because they like what you do. So like, you don't want to strain from being you.
Well, you know, and I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong, because that's not how I am. Mm-hmm. I just know that, okay, if I'm reading my audience and I'm not getting a good... I did a Christmas show last year. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, it was terrible. It was terrible, because it turned out that it was a room from some highly religious people who had no sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of like, I really almost wanted to say, I'm not sure whether I should give these people their money back, but you know what? I did my time. I did my hour. But I wanted to tell them, you know what, next year you need to hire a magician. That way they can pull humor out of their ass.
Well, yeah, it's weird because, like, usually when people pay to go to a show, they already know.
Right, they're going to laugh.
They're going to laugh. So that's always a weird spot. Like, yeah, there's always going to be something that he's going to say that's going to offend people. That's the society we live in right now. Yeah. Everybody's feelings has to be protected. But at the end of the day, you know what? You just got to be you, so that way you can build a fan base.
Right.
And it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to make 3 people laugh out of the 7 people at a open mic, and then all of a sudden you're going to be able to start hitting stages national on the road or nothing. So it's going to take...
Really? I'm just kidding.
It's going to take a lot of time. When you go to apply for like comedy clubs, they'll look up all your social media. They'll see who's following you. Because basically, at the end of the day, it's a business. Mm-hmm. And they want you to be able to bring people in. And if you're not going to bring people in, they're not going to book you. So you just got to keep
for me, I'm very much like that. I need that virtual assistant for myself to say, okay, I really need you to link these to my Facebook page. Because I don't have time to be doing it, you know? Mm-hmm. Because, you know, I'm promoting this show all the time, and, you know, I kind of put my comedy on the back burner for a while. I mean, I did that, like I said, I did the Christmas show, and it was a private party, and I was feeling very down after that show, but then I thought, you know what, that had nothing to do with me. It just had to do with the audience, you know. They were a tough audience, because I did a fundraiser, and
what was that, a church or what? A synagogue?
No, it was for a HVAC company.
Huh.
And just a lot of them, you know, like one guy was a highly religious person, and then one girl was like a school teacher. And
Nice.
I was making jokes about how, I'm not Mary fucking Poppins. And she says, and I said, I hate small children. And the girl goes, and small children probably hate you too. I'm like,
good, we hate each other.
Good.
We have a
mutual thing. They'll stay away from me then. But, it just kind of like...
I see a kid on the street and I'm going to punch him.
It threw me off a little bit. Because, oh my gosh. I usually get very good feedback from people. But that one I was a little disillusioned. I thought, maybe I just need to take a break. And so I took a break from comedy for a while.
It's always weird. Like, I don't really get heckled much, which is kind of weird too. Like, sometimes I get jealous when I see other people getting heckled, and I was like, well, what the hell, man? I have
What's wrong with me? Are my jokes worth heckling? Yeah. I'll heckle you next time.
All right. But then, like, I'm learning how to be... I'm trying to learn how to be more in the moment, like the sights and sounds of everything that's going on.
Right.
Say jokes about that moment. So, like, if I did have a heckler, I'd probably roast them. And so I was like, it's probably best, just in case I take it a little too far, because there's been comedians that take it too far.
There are.
Like, you know what? Maybe I'd probably be that guy that took it too far.
Yeah, and and I can see that. I've watched some comedians and they get really pissed off and then they start cussing at people, and it's like, okay, you just kind of like.
Well, I don't think I'll cuss at anybody, but I'll just probably cross the line with some of this.
You got to learn how to just respond to a heckler. I mean, if you're going to get pissed off at them, then they won. So you got to figure out how not to get pissed off at them.
Have you ever seen that movie with what's his name? Robert De Niro, the comedian? I
started watching it when I was going down to Mexico, and I didn't get to finish it.
It's pretty
freaking
good.
Love. So I got to watch it now. I got to finish it because I started it on the way down to Mexico, and I just got to the part where he had punched the guy in the nose and this.
Oh, the heckler dude.
Yeah.
With the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good movie. Definitely recommend watching that. And then there's a series of shows. It's on Showtime now. It's called I'm Dying Up Here.
It's produced by Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that show. I've been watching that religiously. It's a pretty good show too.
So we're almost up on our time here. So my quick question is, who are your influences?
I have lots of influences. As a matter of fact, one of my biggest influences growing up was Carlos Mencia.
My favorite.
Chris Rock. I got so many. I've been a fan of comedy since I could walk and talk.
So I love comedy myself, and that's interesting. I remember Carlos Mencia. He did the one about the Cinco de Mayo and how everybody celebrates it, and then he brought it over in Ireland. It's like not like we go to Ireland and It's like, oh my god, I could totally see that.
Make me up now.
Right. So, but I'm so glad you got to come on this show. I was really honored that you.
I'm glad to be on it.
Asked. One thing I will say that you can. It kind of tells me who listens live. It depends on if you invited people to listen, or.
Tell you the truth, I don't know how this podcast stuff works, or I don't even know where to tune in on. I'm not really savvy on that.
Well, and
is it like SoundCloud or?
It's on SoundCloud.
Okay.
But you can also go to Spreaker. If on my page, Women, Wit, and Wine, is a link to the show, and so you can go there and you can actually download the show.
Oh, nice.
It's not
listen to it later.
Yeah, it's not proprietary.
So on my drive to Texas,
you can even listen to that.
Man, that sounded horrible.
Or you can say, "Oh, I should have said
I
this."
hate my voice on electronics.
It's very funny because I hate how I sound. I hate how I sound on my voicemail.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure if somebody's listening with subwoofers right now, I'm making their whole house about it.
And so, but absolutely, and then it kind of says, and then it gives me statistics as people listen, and I still promote it even afterwards. I did a promotion on Facebook at least 3 days before, so it was sending it out, and I broadcast pretty much worldwide.
Oh, nice.
And my target audience is pretty much worldwide. So
everybody that just decides to give a tune.
Yeah. So tell me your favorite joke. We'll wrap it up with that.
My favorite joke?
Uh-huh.
I've never wrote a Yelp review because I ain't no snitch.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having
and
me.
I'm so glad you joined us. And we'll be back next week. It's our anniversary show.
So make sure you tune into that one. That one's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Mary Bird will be back with us. She was one of my first guests. And Toby Camilli, who was my producer at the time, will be back with us. And we'll tune in. And I got some other great shows. I got Rusty Rutherford coming in. And then I got the New Mexico Violent Crimes Organization coming in and sitting down and talking to us. What's really interesting, I'll wrap this up on this note, is apparently they're in association with another institute out of, I want to say, South Carolina, about putting people's faces on wine bottles. You know, the joke, but they're doing it for people that are unsolved crimes, putting them on wine bottles so to look for information.
I don't know. I think that would kind of be depressing. You know, when you drink, you'd be like, oh.